everyone, it's Raquel, and today I am very excited because we are talking about envisioning. This is a tool, a practice that I have used to create things that looked pretty much impossible. The way that I've talked about it on this channel before has been by creating a vision board, something that reflects everything that you want to manifest according to how you want to feel. But there's actually other options that you can use for envisioning, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a board. There is a time and a place for it. It's not all the time. There are traps to it, which I'm gonna get into in this video, and also there's a bit of a trick to it in order to use it wisely. I think the easiest way to describe it is it's like driving a car. You really need to watch where you're going because that's where you're headed. And you really need to watch where you're headed because that's where you're going. If you're driving a car and you get distracted by something, you start looking at it, your car is going to sway in that direction or in some kind of direction. It's not going to be going straight anymore like you want it to. It's going to go off track. When you use envisioning as a practice, you are keeping your goal straight ahead. You are focused on that goal. Not only that, if you do it the way that I've been talking about in this channel, like with the 3 steps, first determine what you actually want to feel, as opposed to materialistic things that you would like to achieve or attain, and then after that, finding the words that trigger that, finding the images that help you feel those feelings. Then you're creating something that is very foundationally stable. The way to not use envisioning then is to just create a vision only based on contrast. I do not want to feel this way, so I'm going to run as far away from it as possible. For example, I'm really poor right now, so I want to be a millionaire. That's like the way to not do it, because what you want may not actually be what $1 million will get you. We have seen this with millionaires. They get there and they're still not happy. It's still not enough. They can't get their needs met. Before you make a decision, you check, does this make me feel like this word? Those words are gonna be like your North Star. You're looking at them all the time. You're focused on them. You are using them to check in your life. Before you get that job, if your word, my term is fired up for the finances and lifestyle area of my life. So every time that I make a move in that direction, I have to make sure, is it fired up? And the answer most of the time is no. It does not make me feel fired up or on the way to fired up. Let's say that you have done those steps, you have found your words, you know your core desires, and you have built either your vision board or your vision book, or you have written down a vision. Some people really like that. The way to use this vision that you have created for yourself works kind of like tuning into a radio station. So you know what kind of music you want to hear. That's the first call. You know you have this desire to hear something different. You turn the dial right on the radio until you get to your desired radio station, and then you hold it. This analogy is perfect for what you need to do in this weird universe where you have to feel the things before you can actually manifest them. This takes quite a bit of practice, I feel, because we're not used to tuning into the radio station first and then just putting ourselves in a place of receiving, of just being grateful that it's already here even though I don't see it. The way that I like to use my vision, to use it to start turning into that radio station, is by using it every single morning. The way I do it is with vision boards. I have them right in front of my bed, so that when I first wake up in the morning, when I first open my eyes, it's right there staring at me. And I focus on all the different feelings that those images and those words bring up in me for as long as I can. Some of the spiritual teachers out there say, hold it for at least 16 point something seconds. To be safe, it's 17 seconds. To be even safer, 5 minutes. From a place of neutrality. And this is important because unfortunately in the spiritual community, most people have been, I don't want to say brainwashed, but there's a lot of given importance to feeling good and never feeling bad, and seeing negative emotions as a bad thing. And this really sucks because the manifestation process, the way that I have observed it and that I have experienced it, is kind of like it's more of a synergy. When you have a negative emotion come up, that is not the time to turn around and focus on your vision. That is self-rejection. It's abandoning that part of you that does not actually feel like turning onto a different radio station. And one of the reasons that it works in the mornings for me is because I wake up feeling like setting up my day. So this is part of what they call a morning routine. I used, at the beginning of my spiritual journey, when I didn't know anything about anything, and I watched The Secret and I was like, oh my god, The Secret, this is amazing. I didn't know how to use it really. I thought that you just turn into feeling good all the time, and I learned my lesson. I ended up feeling pretty shitty because I was constantly focused on positive thinking, and never paying attention to the shit that was piling up that I was not taking care of. Part of it is because I didn't know how, part of it is because I was just abandoning myself even more than I was before I learned about this whole manifestation stuff. What I had to learn the hard way is that when a negative emotion comes up, you take care of that first. You do not look for positive thinking. You do not look for a distraction. You do not look for escapism. This is not the time to watch Netflix. This is not the time to use your vision. This is the time to take care of that emotion, learn what it has to tell you. It's the time to take care of the pain. If you're going through physical pain, take care of that. It's the time to, if you have a symptom going on, take care of that symptom. And then later on, when you're in a place of neutrality, then you can go and focus on your vision. So it's a synergy. It's like decorating your apartment or your house. You buy all this nice furniture and your decorations, but you also have to clean it up. And something spills on the floor. And if you're focused on decorating only and not cleaning up the shit, that's gonna be one nasty apartment. So clean up your shit first and then decorate. That is so insightful. I have such refined language. It just impresses me. I impress myself with my refinement. The last thing that I would like to mention is that once you have your vision and you've set up an envisioning practice, let's say for you is in the morning as well, when you're setting up the day and you're getting your time in of focusing on those feelings, attracting that to you, feeling what that feels like, tuning into that radio station. The other step that a lot of people miss is the action steps. And action is something that can be confusing when you don't know what inspired action is. And it takes time to learn this. It's taken me a while too. Inspired action is something that comes from tuning into that state of what you actually want to do, letting that inform an action that you can take right now. So you've heard the phrase, even if you're not religious, God helps those who help themselves. This is what we're talking about. You start taking little actions in the direction of where you want to go. For some people, it's going to be helpful to have a yearly goal. So let's say you create a vision for this year approximately. And so you have an idea of where you want to get halfway through the year. And then you have an idea of where you want to get to halfway through that, so the first quarter of the year. And then you have your monthly things that you want to achieve, that you want to have discovered, and then you design an action step that you can take on a daily basis to help you achieve that. So you kind of take the big goal and then divide it into bite-sized chunks. And I find that that's really helpful especially for like not falling for the trap of the big, New Year's resolution thing. Come up with ideas that you can start applying today. Little manageable steps in the direction that makes you feel what you want to feel, while also using your envisioning power to keep your eyes on what really matters. Last but not least, if you're new to self-discovery, if you're coming from a place of like apathy, you don't really know what things will make you feel what you want to feel, so having like a goal is like too much. It's a big deal because you don't know what things are gonna make you feel that way. It's gonna be a little bit like shooting in the dark, but at the same time, let's say that you decide to try an archery class because you think it's gonna make you feel what you want to feel. You go there and it sucks. You fucking hate it. It's still information, so it's still like part of the adventure. It's still part of the journey. You learn that archery is not the way to feel how you want to feel, and it may sound a bit like a downer, but when you really don't know yourself and you haven't tried new things, you kind of have to go through like a rough period when you're just trying new things and just getting bombarded with information while you organize it and integrate it and learn more about who you are, what you actually like, and how to actually achieve the things that you want to achieve. Right, so I hope you find this helpful a little bit and you have a better idea of how to use that vision board that I've been talking about for so many videos now. And until next time, please subscribe and share with your friends if you find this helpful. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, just comment below. I guess I will see you next week. See you later. Bye.